Hey, this is Jeffrey. I don't have too much time to work on this live today, but finally got a chance to get back to illustrating. Um, Although I love writing and editing, I definitely prefer illustrating over the two, at least right now, anyway. Um, Working on, that's the wrong brush. Working on this picture village of Anura right now. This is the Frogman Village, and comes out in part two of the series, part two of the first book in the series, which I guess when it comes out, it'll be a separate book, but it'll be the same volume in a different release. I was originally hoping to have them all be Quercus Minoran and the Eight Elemental Stones to be in one book, but got split up into different parts, and that's okay. I'm just putting the basic colors here. It was a little bit groggy in the old picture. I'm going to come back and work on this, but everything's all well, you can see doesn't look very good, so I'm trying to get rid of the stuff that doesn't look good so I can make it look good later. There's probably a better way to do this, like going back from the beginning and starting over on this picture would probably be faster, but it's okay. I'm pretty used to doing it this way anyway. Yeah, so thanks. I just saw the comments. Thank you. Finally got the book ready for proofing. It went through several rounds of file rejection. The first I tried with KDP, and they just looked at it and like, nope, not even trying. And then Create Space, it kind of made it pass. They let you skip their digital file review if you don't like the results, just to see what the humans will say. And one time, for some reason, it kind of made it pass, but there were some clear issues that we found. And then the other time, when we fixed the issues that we found, there were issues that they found after that. And then we just went over that process a couple times, staying up till like 4 in the morning, trying to fix the files. And finally got it to the point. Oh, whoops. Nope. I clicked on that too many times. Wonder what's going. Nope, that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. Okay. Nope, that's not happening. I think my threshold for a tool is just set way too high. Similar colors, yeah, similar colors that aren't even adjacent to the thing that I'm trying to color. That's not what I want to happen. So this is the lake town of Anura, Frog Village. They actually mostly live underwater, but we're not. The frogs don't live underwater. They live in underwater caves, mostly, but they have a village up here. And I always kind of wanted to make a village like this, so although they don't all live here the whole time, it's pretty much there for their surface village if they need to go outside and do stuff. And here in this picture, Angelica and Dylan are, she's still pink in this picture. That's really old, like in October old. But yeah, they're on a little boat to come to visit this village for the first time. And I'm trying to get this set of buildings all one color so that I can grab the color, and it's a color selector, and paint over just the buildings and not the surroundings. There's probably a few other ways to do that, like use the lasso to, oh geez, whoops, whatever. Yeah, using the lasso to select each little area, but this way seems faster and more efficient and gives me much more control, in my opinion. If I want to change something, I can add something to the selection or remove it from the selection anyway. So do I have to, oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes using the bucket fill will actually help do this process a little bit, but sometimes it just does not. Originally, this was a pencil drawing, so my feeble attempts to paint this when I was first learning digital back in October kind of make it for a little harder to paint thing now, but at least I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like, even if it doesn't look like what I want it to look like. Nope, that's not happening. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Adrian. I don't know who's watching now because there's one eye, but hey. Okay. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier today, I don't have as much time as I want to, but I'm hoping to get back into live streaming at least sometimes, because now I'm back to illustrating the part 2. Because part 1 it's up, it's about to come. I mean, it's on its way basically. Once it's here, I'll look at it. If it's good, everyone else will be able to look at it, huh? And that is really exciting because I always wanted to make book. Did I just say make book? Okay. I always wanted to make a book. Some books. At least one book. And if you don't count Mario Legend and The Legend of Zelda little fan book that I made, 2 books that no one is ever going to see, yeah, this is basically the first book. I made those books are made of like cardboard and pencil drawn paper with crayons, so they don't count really. But yeah, the first publishing trade book this is. It's nice that people have dropped by and say hi. Right now I'm working with my laptop screen. Oh no, I just opened Word. Computer is going to kill me. Yeah, I'm working on my laptop screen right now, so if I try to look at the Facebook page to see how comments are going, I can do it, but I can't have my eyes on it while I'm doing this, because this takes up the whole screen. Anyway, yeah, I'm super excited about the proof coming, and I have no how marketing is going because I'm the one marketing it, but I'm not doing a very good job, I think. I have started a marketing campaign on Instagram, just putting up photos and adding a bunch of random hashtags, or not always random, but kind of random-ish hashtags to see how much engagement I can get, and adding different comments and stuff. I don't know anything about how to get that to work properly, but so far I've gotten about 500 something followers. I don't know how many of those are actual humans. I know there are some really nice humans there because they're actually leaving comments and coming back and liking things more often, but not everyone, and some of them might just be follow for followers or something. I don't know how many actual fans are in there, but that's okay. I'm hoping that as the books continue to be made, they can kind of market themselves by being books that are periodically coming out, but I'm going to have to do some other marketing as well. No idea how this stuff works. Because I didn't go to art school or business school or entrepreneuring sessions or anything. Just picked up my pencil and started working on this. I wonder how much I've talked about that before. Back in, let's see. Yeah, I don't know when it was. Way back when I decided I wanted to. Probably when I was a kid, I wanted to make a book, but I didn't really know what kind of book I wanted to make. I know I wanted to have something to do with illustrating the books, and I also wanted to write books somewhere along the line. I remember when I was a real little kid, I tried to make a Lord of the Rings short, like fan fiction short story. I don't know how that went. I remember something about Gandalf and orcs. That's all I remember. I also remember something about my letters being backwards and all over the place. But that's, other than that, it's like nothing there. Nope, not happening here. And so this is going to take quite a bit. I painted in this water here on this side. I wonder if I can find the other version. Yeah. So this is that before I started working on it. Today, that is. And I painted the water in, and I'm trying to get the buildings ready for painting. I painted this area over here. It's part of the sea bank and the grass and this little tree and that little rock and the sun and the sea over there and all these nice shiny water and this little downward pool that has some luminor in it. Those are all new additions, but everything else is as it was since October. So I'm gonna start working on that from now. And it's a big process because every little one of these houses needs to be repainted. I don't know if they're houses, huts. Little huts need to be repainted. And first I need to, I don't know what is it, to prime them? What do we call that? This isn't actually using like a primer or something like that, but basically get the painting surface ready and paint it afterwards. Because if I don't, like let's say I wanted to paint this and I painted it, and oops, I painted the everything over there, right? I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna not do that and just get a real clean preparation. Yeah, preparation done with this. Make sure that at least enough of the pixels are selected. If I miss something, that's okay. I can come back and fix it. But just gonna go in here and do that. Yeah. Anyone who is interested in what the book is and hasn't heard about it, just give me a message or something on Facebook. I'm super open to talking about that kind of stuff. I don't think I'll be able to go over everything in this one video, especially because I don't have very much time today. I would have been going on for a couple of hours, but I'm guessing that this is going to run maybe 15 more minutes at best. I don't think it's going to even run that long because well, I can only really live stream when there's not a whole lot going on in the house. So, and a whole lot going on in the house is what usually is happening. So, there are days when it's good for doing this, and today is probably not one of them. I'm going to do it a little bit anyway because I'm excited about the proof, and I'm excited about getting back to illustrating this, and I'm excited about getting back to live streaming so that I can have something to show people while I'm working on stuff, other than like periodically posting things. On Instagram, I'm posting more often than would normally be possible. I cannot finish 3 of these illustrations in a day or anything like that unless I'm working on some pretty simple illustrations, and this one is not one of those simple illustrations. It might take all of today and tomorrow and the next day, or I could get done early if I'm lucky and then really concentrate. But I don't know, let's see, there's a whole bunch of houses to fix, and my house gets kind of hectic anyway. And because of getting the book ready, I've lost a lot of sleep, so I'm really tired actually. So because of the help of Lee Rothrock and Stephen, my dad, we were able to somehow get through the editing process. Took a long time to get that thing ready. Even now, it feels what? Let me see. Got a message. Oh, my dad. I just got your message. I'm not sure what it says. Something about the text. Chapter heads. Moved in the wrong direction. Did it say? Oh. I'll have to look at that. It looks like that there might, well, I'm getting a proof copy in the mail, but there might be a couple things that we need to change before the book actually goes live. But it's so much closer than it was before anyway. It's phenomenally closer. And there we go. So let's see. As I'm working on this, it's really interesting because when I originally painted this, I can't believe that I was so lax that I ended up having ocean color painted parts of these buildings. I don't know why is it blue here? All right. I guess I either wasn't zooming in enough, or I was in too much of a hurry, or I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know which was the reason. I can't remember. But yeah, it's a whole bunch of things that I need to fix now. Extra work for now me from past me. Thank you, past me. All right. Oh well. I don't even know what this is here. Let's see. So there's this in here, that one there. Okay, there's more boards here. That's a lot of boards. They're almost black, and I wonder if GIMP will be able to color them. Nope. Oh, geez. It's very hard for me to even see the difference between the boards and the lines between the boards. I'm just gonna guess that it's somewhere around there. It doesn't really even matter, I think. Okay, because this is gonna be painted over anyway. But getting it prepared like this, it saves hours of super annoying deleting and refixing and re-editing and repainting little tiny problems that we accidentally introduced along the way. So tidying it up now before we really tighten it up later is very important with this kind of illustration, at least with my method. I've done a couple of these without really worrying about fixing everything and just painting over everything, but this one has way too much small detail to just paint over stuff and hope that it works. I have to prepare it for painting and then do that. So let's see, there's a couple more places here, a couple more places there. Yeah. Okay. So in part 1, a whole bunch of things happen, and in part 2, more things happen. Yay. Don't really want to go over everything that happens, but this picture right here is the introduction to a new area that I talked about a second ago, the village of Anura, which is the kingdom of Anura, but this is the lake village of the kingdom of Anura. It doesn't really have any name other than this in the name of its country. So yeah, I actually did a video of me working on one of the later Anura pictures a long time ago, way back in October. But yeah, it doesn't need to be that color. But that one wasn't. That was back when I was working at this capacity, the capacity of the time, that is. Oh no. So back when I was still trying to figure out what I was looking at. I'm still trying to do that, but I mean, I know a lot more of what I'm looking at than then. But it's interesting. So, where are we going? Right over here. Okay. Gonna go over here and fix that place. Nope. It won't let me bucket fill. That's okay. Bucket filling is sometimes useful and sometimes just too lazy. Oh, there we go. With the amount of things that I need to paint over again in the end, bucket filling, it kind of feels like it's something nice that would be nice to have, but doesn't always work. I could fiddle with the settings to accommodate less colors with the, what is it? Yeah, the threshold here. I'll lower it a little bit, but I don't think it'll. Okay, it worked a little bit, but then it doesn't actually work as good in other parts, other respects. So that's a tough one. Trying to figure out what threshold to use bucket fill at. Sometimes it works at 40, sometimes it works at 60, sometimes it works only if you lower it under 8. It's really hard to figure that out sometimes. What bucket fill setting, what threshold would you use in which situation is always a question that comes up when I'm doing this kind of paint over work. But it's much easier to just paint now for me from the beginning. I'd rather do that. But since I have so many pictures, let's see, the next 30 pictures probably need paint overs. I'm just going to do that and hope for the best. It's kind of interesting seeing the difference between then and now anyway. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, okay. Little tiny spots to cover with this color before we come back. Oh, hello Darren. I don't know if you're still there, but I saw you pass by. Thanks for passing by anyway. I have no idea who's watching when. It gives me a list of who joined, and then it gives me a list of eyes. It doesn't say whose the eyes are, but it says that there's eyes. And right now, when I looked, there was one eye. So of the 2 people who were recently listed joining, one of them is probably watching, but I have no idea who it is. Thanks for being there. Anyway, where are we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bungalows out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 27 bungalows. Maybe 28 if you count that thing. Actually, no, that's probably this one. Okay, let's count it as this one. Yeah, there we go. Now it's this one. I could bet you that I didn't actually count these when I drew them, just drew them because they were an idea that I wanted to paint. So although consistency is wonderful with world creation stuff, and I tried to be really consistent with a lot of things, the amount of little huts, bungalows, houses, whatever we call them, in the village of Anura is pretty ambiguous. Every time I painted, every time I drew them, it was probably different. Probably a different layout. I should have probably just drawn a little map on the ground or something and painted based on that every time, but the entire way that this world came to be was me drawing pictures over and over and over again until I had 300 of them, and then writing, and then coloring, and then writing some more. And that's basically just that's Lucarius and Sarzana. That's how they exist. That's the Great Adventures of Angelica Cherryfur, me drawing on paper with a pencil and then putting it in my computer and doing stuff with it. I always thought that no, I'm never going to be able to work on a professional book until I get good enough. And yeah, here I am, still trying to get good enough and working on it. And I've already published. Well, I'm not already published, but I'm already getting the proof ready for publishing my first one. I feel like I've already published it because I've felt mostly done with it for a while now. Just going through little bits of editing and slight changes and getting copies and stuff ready. But yeah, it will be officially published as soon as I can get it there. Once the proof copy comes in, once we see if it's looking how I think it's supposed to look, and then it'll be published. So yeah, can I draw a picture book? I don't know. Did I? Yes. Can I draw more picture books? Certainly. Could I have if I didn't start? No, never. Could not ever start working on a picture book unless I start. So that's kind of obvious, right? But it didn't seem that way. It seemed like I had to go and learn something somewhere. And I want to learn something somewhere. I want to get better at this and understand more, but it's not a prerequisite for trying. And the more you try, the more this consumes you, and the more you want to learn anyway. So if anyone is considering making books and just haven't started yet, I really suggest just start. Figure it out when you're doing it. It's going to be a very exciting, very long ride. At least in my case, it was a long ride in terms of hours, but not in terms of some other people. Like some people spend years and years and years and years on their first books, or even on their second, third, fourth books. This one has been most of 1 year, and it's definitely not long compared to some other people, but it still feels like it took a long time to make this. And it's going to take a long time to continue to make this, because this is not just one book. I'm making a series, and I want to continue the series as long as I can, because I have a whole bunch of adventures thought out, and even if I don't have them all thought out, I have a whole bunch of adventures that I have kind of envisioned, more or less. I have a bunch of places that I want Angelica to go, and I'll probably even be able to think of more places that I haven't thought of. So, looking forward to just keeping on doing that. Hopefully, I will also be able to do some other illustrative work, but right now I don't have my account set up so that I can do that. Sometime soon, that would be nice if I could. What is this? Stop sharing, hide. Stop sharing, hide. I don't need to stop sharing or hide. Well, I guess I can hide the stop sharing thing, but it's in the way. Okay, so how many? No, I don't even want to count. I bet this looks a lot better in the original hand-drawn version with the pencil and everything. Better as in, there's probably more detail here, right around here. When I scan it into the computer, things start going missing, and that makes me kind of, yeah, there's definitely got to be something here, because there's an empty bungalow there. I'm just gonna have to kind of hope to create one and paint it later. Make sure that it looks nice. That's really weird. I don't know why that's not there. Frustrating. Disappearing bungalows. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened when I painted this the first time, but there are some obvious, this was a bungalow, but it's water kind of situations going on, and I need to fix those before I can keep going on. It's kind of hard to differentiate these shapes, though. Oh well. What is that? Okay. So many different things here. It would be nice if I could get to painting and not just filling in, because I don't know, just filling in for a long time is it's obviously part of what I'm doing and it's important to see, I guess, but it would be also nice to see to have people be able to see the colors actually articulate themselves on the screen in a desirable sort of way instead of this murky dark way, because this is not going to be as dark of a picture as it is right now. It's supposed to be dawn, sun coming up right there. So, I mean, it could be like a really early dawn and will be a little darker than what it's probably going to be, but it doesn't have to be as dark as it is right now, anyway. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. All right. What is that? My computer just gave me like some kind of whatever. Don't know what it was. I wasn't looking. Some kind of error. Hope it wasn't important. That's too big. And that thing, this and thing, that thing, this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. Whoa, no. No. Little ladder here that goes in the water. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what is this? There's so many little places. I don't know if I know kind of what they're supposed to be, but I haven't looked at this illustration for a while, and some of these aren't obviously bungalows. Some of them are more obviously pieces of bungalows, but some of them are kind of ambiguously maybe water. I don't know. So we'll see. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I think it's X. There's a button on my keyboard that makes me delete the layer that I'm working on. That's an interesting button. I wonder why it's there. I guess it's useful in some situations, but it's probably not the quickest hotkey that I want to be using. Delete layer. Yeah, I delete layers sometimes, but not often enough that I want a hotkey for it, I guess. There are more important things than, what was that? Peppa Pig. There are more important things than reading newspapers, Daddy Pig, right? So there's more important things than deleting layers, Daddy Pig. Yeah, let's see. Yep, no. So that's funny. When they're almost the same color, they kind of look like you're able to bucket fill something, but it doesn't. It leaves a bunch of really strange residue. Well, at least I kind of know what I'm looking at. When I first started this, it's like, nope, don't know what that is. Stop it, right? Yeah, I'm a lot more patient than I was then because, well, when I first started, I had suggested deadline of getting all 3 parts of the book out by December, which was ridiculous and impossible. And yeah, trying to do that was, especially with my first time trying to learn how to do digital, was well, not possible. So trying to do the impossible, ended up with some pretty lackluster results in my opinion. I like how some of the color articulation worked out even with this picture, but not all of it. Although it kind of bugged me when people called it rushed at first. Yeah, it was rushed at the beginning because I had to rush. I had to hurry. It's not that I wanted to hurry or something, anything. I wanted to spend time on every picture. The first picture I spent like 8 or 9 hours on before I started going on to the second picture, and still that obviously wasn't enough, but it was a lot more than I was able to spend on the next mini pictures after that for a while. Now I can spend a lot more than 8 hours on one picture. Whoa, nope, okay. There we go. So it looks like so far I have more time than I thought I did. Not always a good thing, but right now it seems like a good thing. And bucket fill is hating me. I don't have the threshold on too high, but it still doesn't. What am I doing? I'm talking and looking away for a second while I don't know why I'm looking. No, I'm not. It's not that I'm looking away. It's somehow I'm letting my hand slip over my point of concentration. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Maybe that'll fit. Okay. The more bucket fill I can do right now, the better, because well, right now what I'm doing essentially is painting in bucket fill. So instead of painting in by hand, when I'm actually doing anything technical, bucket fill would be nice to have do the job for me, but there's obviously some things that it's interpreting wrong right now. There we go. Getting closer to having all of the bungalows colored one simple color. which is not ideal because I actually would want to have different parts of them colored different base colors, and then I'd be able to select different parts of them. But it's better than painting the wrong thing, than painting the lake here. So this is the Aqua Gem Lake, and the Aqua Gem Lake is not made of wood, so we don't want to paint it like it's made of wood. That makes any sense? Okay, so let's see. I know that there are illustrated books that are really long, and there are novels that have illustrated versions of them, but when I first started on this, I was just like, I'm going to make the first illustrated fantasy novel, and then I quickly realized that it's not anything near the first, but it's definitely something that's underdone as far as I'm concerned. It should be done more often. It's interesting to find other fantasy novels that have lots of illustrations in them, because that's kind of something that as a kid I always wanted, and as a kid my daughter wants, and as a kid many other kids probably want too. So I mean, there's definitely something to be said for books that let you imagine your characters and don't have to look at them and see what they look like in actuality. But yeah, no, I don't want to color that color. I'm going to give it a random, arbitrary, different color, just so that I know that it's not that color. This is probably not that color either. And those things aren't either. Don't remember what they are. Find out later. And no, blue is not going to work. I'll give them a different color so that I can come back and try to work on them. It doesn't matter if they're green or not. It just needs to be something that's not brown and lake blue. Let's see. So I've been writing and editing and writing a lot recently, and when I'm not doing that, I'm either trying to sleep or working at my other job. And I finally got back to illustrating. This is so fun. I love illustrating, painting, rendering, all that good stuff. Oh yeah, of course, I've been doing a little bit of marketing recently as well, because I want the book to exist in people's minds, not just in the store, which people may or may not look at. They might not even find it if I don't tell them about it. So it would be nice if people know about it. If they're not interested, at least they'll be able to see it. And if they are interested, they'll be able to find it. So that's good. Yeah. With my daughter, it's interesting trying to get her interested in one series long enough to read through the whole thing, or to watch through the whole thing if it's a TV series or something. But there's some that work better than others. We were able to watch this first cartoon series of Redwall, and then when it went on to Matameo, because of the character change, the storyline change, stuff like that, she decided that she was ready to watch something different. And we might actually go back to watching that later. But oftentimes when we get somewhere in a storyline, it becomes the end for now. And it's kind of really interesting how whether my book could hold interest long enough to finish through the whole thing. But well, I mean, not the whole one book, but the whole series once it's all there. Probably will, especially since she knows I made it. But who knows? Not always the case that people around you want to read your stuff. In fact, there's a lot of people who don't want their people around them to read their stuff. So, who knows? Me, I like it when people like my stuff. It's nice. It makes me feel good inside. But yeah, I did something that people like. I haven't done too much with this yet, but at least I'm really happy when I get a positive reaction about even just one of the illustrations or some of the explanation about series or something. If someone says like, "Well, that sounds cool," or something like, "Yay, job complete." Well, not really complete, but I mean, feel really happy about that anyway. What is this? This thingy over there. I just wanted to put things. That's an interesting way to put it, but they're just miscellaneous objects on these in these bungalows. I think they were more well articulated in the pencil drawing, but I don't remember what they are. Not for the life of me. There were probably some barrels and boxes and bed sheets and stuff, but I don't know what this is that I'm painting right now. I don't know if this is the right color. I'm going to leave it like that though, because I can come back and paint it later, or I can try to figure out what it is, or I can give it a new purpose if I can't figure out what it was supposed to be, because it's just a thingy. And villages need thingies, right? Yeah. Let's see what do we have here. More bungalow. Give it a whole bunch of left click, not working. Change the tool, change it up, fix it here, fix it there. This is lasting a lot longer than I thought. Maybe soon we'll get through this bungalows. At least this part of the bungalows. Nope. I know there are some places in our world that kind of look like this, and that's pretty cool. But what was it? I mean, there's Star Wars and some other things. There's definitely some kind of inspiration that I saw in some kind of fantasy or sci-fi series that had houses like this. It's not exactly like this, but I like doing tree villages. I like doing lake villages. Those kind of those odd villages that aren't just a bunch of houses plumped together on a plot of land. Those interesting villages are something that are very fun to illustrate and very fun to try to figure out what kind of people live there or something. Yeah, that actually looks like a good color to leave as is. By the time I'm done with this, I'll have done so many small, intricate details. This is just all this stuff that I need to paint. right now I'm just getting ready for coloring, and it might take longer to paint it. It might take less time than I think it would, because the one thing is I won't be carefully selecting areas now. I'll be having an area that's already selected. And I just had to add a line there because I know that there's a line there. Over here it's the same. There's supposed to be a line there. There isn't. Here, same. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Light up the tree, right? There's just a couple pixels in every little place that aren't perfect. Okay. The 3 back there before I get the 2 up there. Oh, jeez. So that's interesting. For the most part, these rooftops look almost the same color as the water back there, and that's a little disconcerting. One's supposed to be brown, the other's supposed to be blue. If I have a brownish blue that's brownish blue enough, or a bluish brown that's bluish enough that they all look like they're the same thing, I kind of wonder if when I did this the first time around, I just didn't randomly paint over everything. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it was just too many details and I gave up or something. Because I did have very little time to go through it as far as I was concerned when I was doing that. Because, yeah, 300 fully colored, fully illustrated pictures by 6 months from when you started even pencil drawing them, and a story to go along with that. Yeah, that's not a possible goal. Even if I stayed up all night. Okay. I think probably, whoa, that's not the color I wanted. What did I just press? Oh, invert. That's funny looking. So, anyone who's watching this and found this on YouTube or something, you can also find me over on Instagram. By the time you find this, the first book might be up. Second book might be up, who knows? But this is right now, April 19th, 2018. Not inverting again. And yeah, you can contact me, talk to me, ask me anything about the books. These will be available on Amazon. There are products related to the books that are going up on my Zazzle, like puzzles, doing a few t-shirts, other things like that. When I'm ready, I wanted to be doing commissions and stuff for illustrations, but I don't have a good payment system set up right now. Don't know what I'm going to do about that right now because I'm living over in Japan and I need a US bank account for that kind of stuff. And I can't travel to the US to open one right now, so that'll be interesting to figure out. I think. Once that's figured out, it'll be let's see where that goes. But yeah, Facebook. Let's see. I have a bunch of Facebook pages. Adventures of Angelica is the URL for the Great Adventures of Angelica Cherryfur. Should be able to find my other stuff from there, or just look up Jeffrey Cameron Sir. Instagram, Jeffrey Cameron Sir. Pinterest, although I haven't really figured that out yet. Jeffrey Sir, Critter, Odinway one. That probably hard to find. If you see it up on YouTube, there's a bunch of links there anyway. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, if you like my books already and you're interested in seeing more and you want more people to know about the books, the only way that I'm going to be able to get a bigger audience is that if people engage with the books and share it and talk about it. So if anyone's interested, just like pictures, share them, talk about stuff, engage on my comment section. You don't have to, but if you're interested in helping the book grow, that'll be really helpful. Really helpful. All of these algorithms about finding people, finding books, everything, that's all based on how much engagement goes on. And if there's no engagement, there's no growth. And I'm being as outgoing as I can be and responding to comments and things, but if I don't get any comments, there's no responding going on, and I don't know what to do about that. Really new at this, but yeah, if anyone's interested, thank you. That seems gross. Okay, I'm getting messages. Kind of confused. Oh, where's that? I got a message from my dad. I don't see it. Nope, won't let me tab out. I don't even know what just happened. My pencil is marking up the page. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. I'm going to engage in as little self-promotion as possible without not self-promoting. So what am I saying? I'm not gonna go around saying like, dude, my book. I'm gonna be working on my book. So if anyone's interested in helping the book, just let me know. Let everybody else know. Yeah. What is this? No, it's not working. Yeah, there was this really cool book that I was trying to review for one of my friends who was working on their book. Didn't work out the whole way. All right, I gotta get going now. I'm gonna put this up later. Thanks for watching. See you around.